Wrapping up day 3 here at the Under Armour All-America game. Another practice session for 4 Michigan commitments. I'm Kyle Bogenschutz alongside Sam Webb. An exciting day, a little bit of a slower day as teams kind of prep for Thursday's game down in St. Petersburg. But, you know, looking at Michigan's 4 commitments, I think, again, it was a banner day. I guess we'll kind of rinse and repeat on this Tuesday. Jabril Peppers was, again, very good in the one-on-ones, very good in the 7-on-7s. You know, what did you see out of him? It just seems to kind of continue with Mr. Peppers.
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
Sometimes there are no words.
I mean, we can take yesterday's tape and replay it over again. He's been outstanding. I mean, the kid. I think the more you watch him, you appreciate that it's not just his physical ability that separates him from the rest. I mean, obviously he has explosive quickness and speed. He's powerful, can jump out of the gym. He has all the physical attributes, but if you listen to him while he's out there coaching other players, understanding defensive concepts, knowing what zone not only he's supposed to have, but other players are supposed to have. He's off the field, coming on the field, telling, hey, Watkins, that was your zone. You're not supposed to be back this far. The safety will get over and take care of that. He understands defensive concepts as well, takes coaching well. The mental aspects of the game, you appreciate. That's part of what makes him special as well. That's the thing that I identified most. If there was anything different about today that I watched, it was that part of his game and appreciating that more.
And Sam, you had a chance to talk to Herm Edwards, who's coaching Team Nitro, and he kind of had some fun with Peppers, who we call Pep, out there today, doing a little coaching. You can see the full interview later today on GoBlueWolverine.com. But a lot of positive things to say and a lot of positive interaction you saw between Edwards and Peppers today.
Yeah, you know, Herm Edwards, too, and you have a former NFL DB himself, former coach himself, saying that kid is going to be special, saying I'm going to be calling Brady Hoke on Monday to tell him that kid needs to be on the field right away. It tells you that everything that people have been saying about Jabril Peppers is not hyperbole, that the kid really has it. Now, again, I steer away from saying that he's going to be the next coming. I can tell you he has that type of physical talent, but there's a lot more that goes into success and failure. I say all the time, a lot more goes into success and failure than just pure physical talent. So, I mean, there are some hurdles that he has to clear, just like everyone else. Balancing academics and athletics, being away from home, all those things that freshmen have to deal with. But that kid has the potential to be special. I will say that. People say, "Oh, news to me." No, I steer away from that kind of praise. But with this kid, he has all the tools to be one of the best guys that we've seen wear that uniform.
Offensively, Wilton Speight had another good day. Took the first snap of the quarterbacks for Team Nitro. We'll see if he actually starts the game on Thursday. They did a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of running through plays, recognizing what they can do well and kind of fine-tuning some things. I thought he had a nice day, although they didn't do a whole lot of challenging. But the one-on-one situations, I think he does a nice job of adjusting to what the defensive backs are doing and kind of throwing it only where his receiver can get it.
Yeah, I think with Wilton, and talking to Coach Steve Walsh, who obviously is standout at the University of Miami, went on to play at the Dallas Cowboys, play in the NFL. He said, he's a kid that's a quick study. He talked to him about footwork and that kind of thing, but it was more tweaking because he commented on Wilton's polish. He said, you don't see guys that big really be able to throw as well on the run as Wilton can throw on the run. He said for him, you can already see the ingredients that go into a guy that's going to be able to go in and compete early in his career. Now, he didn't know the situation at Michigan, but still, I mean, he sees the tools necessary, because this is a young man that he said, he said he came out after practice approaching me, asking me, what can I do to get ready for Michigan? What can I do to be the most prepared? And he said, I went in and telling him how I got the Miami playbook early to get into it. And he said, oh, I already have the Michigan playbook. And so that's the kind of kid that you're dealing with. So he said, like anyone else, there's some things he's going to have to work on. He said, he's a mobile guy, but at the same time, he's a guy that has to continue to work on keeping his feet under him when he delivers passes. I don't know quarterback jargon, but he was talking about those things, that he needs to continue to work on his polish, his mechanics and that kind of thing, but really was pleased with and impressed by how prepared Wilton is coming in. He said, you know, we've only been coaching a couple of days, so what we're seeing out here isn't really about me, it's about what that kid had coming in.
Talking to Scott Kennedy yesterday after the offensive line, defensive line one-on-ones, he said Brian Monet had an okay day, more of a stalwart, more of a defensive tackle, taking on blocks. Today, a little bit different. He had a pretty darn good day, according to a lot of people that had a chance to see him.
There's no question that there was a difference in comfort. I mean, when Brian first got here, he's a quiet kid. I mean, he's a guy that it takes him a little while to open up. He has to get to know you a little bit, but once he does, and once he gets a little comfortable, and he said they made me angry today, and it kind of unleashed. He said I took it out on the competition, and you know, one of the coaches said he almost broke a kid's back as he bull rushed him. And so tremendous power. And what I continue to comment on, I'm going to put up a picture, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. There's a quickness and a fleetness of foot for a kid that's 330 pounds that you just wouldn't expect. There's a play where he was changing direction and both feet are off the ground. I mean, 330 pounder is changing direction, and as he does it, both feet are off the ground as he does it, and it gives you a physical picture of the kind of quickness, even without seeing a video of what we're talking about here. So again, he still has to drop some weight. He commented on it again. He needs to be down around 310, so about 20 more pounds. But the quickness that he has, the really, really good strength and power that he has, those are the kinds of things that are going to lend themselves to him playing right away. And I said, Brian, you know, do you play angry all the time? He said, typically, yes, I play angry all the time. Reason why it really didn't come out the first day, he's just some nervousness there. Once the jitters went away, you start seeing his game come to the fore like it did today, impressed a lot of people.
Juwan Bushelbaby on the offensive line continues to do well when guys try to bull rush and come right at him. Again, struggle with the speed rushers off the edge, but one thing you talk to the coaches say that stands out about him, he keeps getting back out there. You see a lot of times at these all-star games, kids will take a rep, not do so good, go to the back of the line and kind of hide out, but Juwan Bushelbaby is showing a want to get better, and that's an encouraging thing, I would say, for me.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember when watching him, when hearing reports about him, that this is a kid that's only been playing football for 3 years. You know, this is a kid that is not physically where he's going to be weight-wise down the line. So you have two major components of success: experience, conditioning, that aren't quite there for him yet. Give him a couple of years in the strength and conditioning program. Give him a couple of years with being coached up. And then I think you'll see the potential turn into production, because right now, I said it before, you just can't teach a kid to be 6'6", 300 plus. Now he's 6'6", probably 340 plus right now, and you want him to be 6'6", maybe 305, 310, like Coach Partridge, his high school coach who's out here coaching right now. Like he said figures around 3'5", 310, and then a lot of the natural athleticism and ability to bend and move will come rising to the fore even more. So I think he's a down the line guy. You might hear some reports say, hey, he got beat by a few speed rushers. He actually held his own a little bit, according to some reports. You know, our Scott Kennedy was talking about how he held his own against Deshaun Hand. So it's not like he's getting beat like a drum, but he does have problems with speed rushers. So that's something he'll get better with time and conditioning.
Tons more to come on GoBlueWolverine.com, including 2 more commitments that came down today. Jared Wangler and Michael Fern show up. We caught up with them. You can follow all of our coverage from right here in Orlando at Scout.com.